Good evening, Mr. Gunawan Tambun Saribu, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Putu Septiari Nesa Yasa. Now I will presentation about political parties in Indonesia nowadays and voting age for presidential election. Let's start it. A political party is a political organization that follows a certain ideology or is formed with a general purpose. Political parties, according to experts, according to Lapa Lombara and Anderson 1992, a political party is any political group that has an official label and organization that connects the center of power with the locality, which is present during general election and has the ability to place candidates for public official through general election activities, either freely or not free. 2. According to Edmund Burke, 2005, political parties are institutions consisting of people who unite to promote national interests together based on the principle and things they agree on. 3. According to Budiarjo, 2008, a political party is an organized group of people whose members have the same orientation, values, and ideals. According to Ramlan Surbakti 1992-116, there are three theories that explain the process of forming political parties. 1. Institutional theory that sees a relationship between the early parliament and the emergency of political parties says the political parties were formed by the legislative and the executive because there is a need for parliamentarians who are determined by appointment to make contact with community and build support from the community. The latter political bodies are usually formed by a small group of politically aware community leaders based on the assessment that the political bodies formed by the government are unable to accommodate and fight for their interests. 2. This theory explains that when a political system undergoes a transition prior to change in society from this traditional form of a simple structure to a modern society with a complex structure. This means that these changes have resulted in people questioning the principle underlying the legitimacy of governing political authority, creating problems in the identity that unites society as a nation and resulting in greater demands for participants in the political process. 3. Development theory that sees political parties as projects of socio-economic modernization. This theory is socio-economic modernization such as the development of communication technology in the form of mass media and transportation, expansion and improvement of education, industrialization, expansion of state power such as bureaucratization, the formation of various interest groups and professional organizations, and increasing individual capabilities that affect the environment, giving birth to a need for a political organization capable of integrating and fighting for those various aspirations. The role of new media in the political arena in Indonesia. Media owners have influence on the content of the impression on the mass media they have. This influence can be seen in the news and advertising. For example, Metro TV is owned by Surya Paloh and TV1 is owned by Abu Rizal Bakri. It is known that Surya Paloh currently serves as the general chair of the National Democratic Party and Abu Rizal Bakri as the general chair of the Golkar Party. When the owner of the mass media is involved in politics, the influence that is implemented on the content of the show is getting stronger. Tan Pandik can prove the following form of influence. A. Text. Surya Paloh and Abu Rizal Bakri were constructed in such a way as someone who was authoritative, as well as a visionary general chairman of the party, as Indonesian restoration figures for Surya Paloh and R. Irbi. As 2014, President for Abu Rizal Bakri the Nasdem Party, which has now appointed Surya Paloh as general care, has a vision and mission to prosper the Indonesian people and carry out restoration in various fields. Therefore, the Golkar Party, the term RAB, the rating of the general choir of the Golkar Party, and the display of RAB advertisement become a form of imaging and construction carried out by the owner of the mass media. B. Social cognition. On the aspect of social connection, society, academics, and practitioners also have the same view of the two people. As owner of mass media, they have their own way of portraying themselves, especially when there is a case. The influence of media owner is also large in the formation of every broadcast, especially news and advertisement, especially when the owner is involved in politics. See context. In the context aspect, the result obtained by the researchers are that other media are more focused on how the two-party government have made progress in politics in the run-up to the general election. Overall, the context aspect explains that other mass media which are not owned by Surya Paloh or Abu Rizal Bakri are more objective in reporting. Where the phenomenon becomes that the main concern of the public is the news which is the pick up by the media. In addition, it can also be concluded that mass media owners who are involved in politics are certain to have influence on the content of mass media broadcasts. Toward simplification of political parties in Indonesia and its impact on national unity. The condition of the Indonesian nation, which consists of various ethnic groups, races, and religions, is indeed union for the creation of a multi-party mechanism as a logical consequence of the nation's multiculturalism. A larger number of political bodies that create a lot of aspiration channels from the community to be able to channel their existence to find solution. Simplification of political parties will actually turn off this channel so that there will be elements of society who do not get the channeling of aspiration. In addition, there may also be coercion to channel the aspiration of the community by only using certain channels. Historical, Indonesia has implemented a mechanism for simplifying political parties through political vision which was carried out in the New Order era. However, the simplification of political parties tend to occur because there was coercion by the authorities at the time who were in that authority then. Seeing the condition of the Indonesian people consists of various ethnic groups, races, and religions. Implementing a simplification mechanism for political parties is not a wise solution to be implemented soon. It needs maturity in terms of regulation, which is the main legal umbrella in the simplification of political parties. In addition, maturity of political thinking at the community level are also needed to be able to simplify political parties in Indonesia. Indonesia since August 17, 1945 has been a democratic country. Why is Indonesia called a democratic country? Quote from the official website of the Ministry of Education and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia. To prove that Indonesia is a democratic country, one can use a normative and empirical point of view. The normative proof of democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Normative evidence that Indonesia is a democratic country is based on the Constitution, namely the 1945 Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia. Empirical evidence. While empirical evidence that Indonesia is a democratic country can be seen from the flow of political history in Indonesia, namely one government during the Indonesian Independence Revolution 1945 to 1949. 2. Parliamentary government 1949 to 1959. 3. Guided democratic government 1959 to 1965. 4. New Order government 1965 to 1998. 5. Reform Order government 1998 to present. The function of political parties in the book Introduction to Political Science 2017 by Yasa unanimously means 1. Means of political socialization. Political parties play a role in strengthening political culture in the context of forming attitudes and orientation of community members as citizen political education. 2. Political recruitment tools. Political parties select, elect, and appoint a person to carry out some roles in the political system in general and in government in particular. 3. Means of political participation. Political parties also encourage the public to use parties as a forum to channel their activities to influence the political process. 4. Means of political communication. Political parties convey the aspiration and interest of information from the government to the public and vice versa. 5. Means of conflict management. Political parties try to overcome or at least minimize the occurrence of conflict. Executive Director of the Indonesia Survey Institute Alezi Jayadi Hanan PhD said 3 things were the main problems of political parties in Indonesia, namely 1. Transparency of political parties, which he considers state operating as black box. Not being transparent in political activities make people in the end can only accept all decisions or political recommendations taken by the political parties. 2. Problem relate to the democracy within the party. This condition tends to create personalization or oligarchy within the party and a relationship of political body with distant or weak communities. For another major problem for political parties is the relationship between political parties and people who are distant or weak. One indicator of the weak relationship between political parties and society is the low level of party identification, which is 12% in January 2021. 2021 based on a survey by the Indonesian Survey Institute Lelisi. That means the existing parties are not able to attract the public to identify themselves with this party. Almost 90% of the people feel that they have no connection with the party. One form of community involvement in the political process in the general election. Elections are means for the community to participate in determining the figure and direction of state or religion leadership in a certain period. When the democracy gets wide attention from the world community, the holding of democratic election is an important requirement in the formation of country leadership. Elections have the main function of producing a leadership that is truly close to the will of the people. Therefore, elections are means of legitimizing power. Election can be said to be aspirational and democratic if they meet the following requirements. 1. Election must be competitive in the sense that the eligible participant must be free and autonomous. 2. Elections are held periodically in the sense the election must be held regularly with clear time intervals. 3. Election must be inclusive, meaning that all community groups must have equal opportunities to participate in election. No single group was discriminated against in the electoral process. 5. Voters must be given the freedom to consider and discuss their alternatives in a free atmosphere, not under pressure, and access to broad information. 5. Impartial and independent election organizer. Democratic election as a means of realizing people's sovereignty to produce a democratic state government based on Pancasila and the 1945 Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia is intended to elect the president and vice presidents, member of the House of Representatives, regional representative board, regional House of Representatives, and regional heads, and the future regional heads who can reflect democratic value and can absorb and fight for the aspiration of the people with the demands of the development of the life of the nation and state. Furthermore, elections are held by election administrators who have integrated professional and academic. We are carried out in a more collective, systematic, legitimate, and equitable manner, with the widest possible participation of the community. Election must be conducted with higher quality to better ensure healthy participatory competition, have a higher degree of representation, and have a clear accountability mechanism. According to political observer Ubaidillah Badran, at lecturer at the State University of Jakarta, the minimum age of 14 years is one of the requirements to become a presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate. As stated in Article 1969, later Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia Number 7 of 2070 concerning general elections should not be changed. Referring to the contestants of the Republic Indonesia election, voters are Indonesian citizens who are even 17 years old or who have not yet aged 17 but have been married. Another requirement is to have an identity card (KTP) and be registered as a voter. Conclusion: a political party is a political organization that follows a certain ideology or is formed with a general purpose. The margin of political parties says the political parties were formed the legislative and the executive because there is a need for parliamentarians who are determined by appointment to make contact with the community and build support from the community. Due to change in society from this traditional from a simple structure to a modern society with a complex structure. This theory is socio-economic modernization such as the development of communication technology in the form of mass media and expansion and improvement of education is industrialization, expansion of state powers such as bureaucratization, the formation of various interest groups and professional organizations, and increasing individual capabilities that affect the environment, giving birth to a need for a political organization capable of integrating and fighting for these various aspirations. Media owners have an influence on the content of the impression on the mass media they have. The Nasdem Party, which has now appointed Surya Paloh as the general choir, has vision and mission to prosper in the Indonesian people and carried out restoration in various fields. Then for the Golkar Party, the term Arabic, the writing of the general choir of Golkar Party and the display of Arabic advertisement become all form of making and construction carried out by the owner of the mass media. On the aspect of social connection, society, academics, and practitioners also have the same view of the two people. The influence of media owners also lies in the formation of every big broadcast, especially news and advertisement, especially when the owner is involved in politics. In politics, in the run-up to the general election, the condition of Indonesian nation, which consists of various ethnic groups, races, and religions, is indeed urgent for the creation of a multi-party mechanism as a logical consequence of the nation's multiculturalism. A large number of political parties then creates a lot of inspiration channels for the community to be able to channel their anxiety to find solution. Seeing the condition of the Indonesian people, who consists of various ethnic groups, races, and religions, implementing a simplification mechanism for political bodies is a wise solution to be implemented soon. In addition, maturity of political thinking at the community level are also needed to be able to simplify political parties in Indonesia. Indonesia, since August 17, 1945, has been a democratic country. Why is Indonesia called a democratic country? The normative proof of democratic is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Normative evidence that Indonesia is a democratic country is banned in the Constitution, namely the 1945 Constitution of the Republic Indonesia. Executive Director of the Indonesian Survey Institute LSI Jayadi Hanan PhD, one indicator of the weak relationship between political parties and society is the low level of party identification, which is 12% in January 2021, based on a survey by Indonesian Survey Institute LSI. That means the existing parties are not able to attract the public to identify themselves with these parties. Almost 19% of the people feel that have no connection with the party. One form of community involvement in the political process in the general election are means for the community to participate in determining the figure and direction of state or regional leadership in a certain period. Election must be inclusive, meaning the other community group must have equal opportunities to participate in inclusion. Democratic election is a means of realizing people's sovereignty to produce a democratic state government based on Pancasila, and the 1945 Constitution of the Republic Indonesia is intended to elect the president and vice president, members of the House of Representatives, Regional Representative Board, Regional House of Representatives, and Regional House. Referring to the Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia election, voters are Indonesian citizens who are even 70 years old or who have not yet aged 17 but have been married. This sort from my presentation. Thank you for watching. If I have mistake, please forgive me. Thank you. See you next video. Thank you. Goodbye.